from the accident in 2008 that they tried to carry.
You're leaving a battleground. You're losing a war.
We were all withering away. We were all slowly dying.
High on K2, death rips you from the mountain in total silence. Here, death doesn't warn you. This is the most gruesome horror on K2 that even elite climbers can't survive. They called it Black Summer, 1986, the year K2 showed no mercy. Between June and August 1986, 13 climbers, including legendary alpinist Renato Casarotto and Julie Tolles, perished in avalanches, storms, and failed descents. It happens in total silence. 1 second, you're inching across a razor-thin ledge at over 8,000 meters. Next, you're gone. No scream, no struggle, just a sudden absence, erased by the mountain mid-step. That's the terrifying truth on K2. Ice doesn't crack loudly, it shears. Instead of fraying, ropes just vanish, and climbers, instead of falling, they disappear. High in the death zone, where oxygen is thin and survival hinges on seconds, even the sound of death is stolen by the wind. A single serac collapses, a snapped anchor point, or a hidden crevasse means instant death. And the worst part, the next in line won't even know it happened until they feel the rope go slack. That's how the most elite climbers vanished on K2. Just a whisper, lost in the storm. And before the horror strikes, K2 breaks your very soul. Make sure you like and subscribe for more heart-wrenching insight. They call it the Savage Mountain for a reason. K2 doesn't offer chances, only ultimatums. At 8,611 meters, it's Earth's second highest peak, but far deadlier than Everest by a terrifying margin. For every 4 climbers who reach the summit, 1 never comes back. That's something to be taken as a warning, not a statistic. Unlike Everest, K2 offers no fixed ladder routes, no Sherpa-packed rescue teams, just vertical ice walls, unstable weather, and decisions that decide life or death in seconds. The mountain is remote and unforgiving. Helicopters can't reach most of its flanks. Storms can last for days. Avalanches are random and fast, and the higher you go, the less your body obeys you. Even elite climbers, Olympians of the vertical world, are known to crumble here. Because on K2, your skill means little in the face of the mountain's wrath. And now we enter death's most unforgiving funnel. At around 8,200 meters, this is the Bottleneck, and it's nothing short of a trap. A narrow, slanting couloir beneath towering seracs the size of buildings, frozen in place until they're not. Every climber who nears the summit of K2 has to pass through here, directly beneath these overhanging ice cliffs. There is no alternative. It's a gamble, one you make with your life. In 2008, a serac broke loose without warning. Ropes were severed instantly. Climbers were stranded in the death zone with no way up and no safe way down. 11 people died within hours. And that wasn't the first time. The silence inside the Bottleneck is eerie. Just the wind and the deep cracking groan of unstable ice above. Every step is a prayer and every breath could be your last. And worst of all, you won't hear it fall until it's already too late.
From the accident in 2008 that they tried to carry a guy from below the Bottleneck, and they all fell, and many more lost their life.
This is the Abruzzi Spur, K2's most popular route. But don't let the term fool you. It's a minefield of collapsing ice walls, loose rock faces, and avalanche-prone slopes. This is where climbers grind upwards for weeks, exposed and exhausted, long before they even reach the Bottleneck. And back in 1986, it became a graveyard. That summer, 13 climbers died in separate tragedies. They were torn apart by falls, storms, and sheer exhaustion. Among them was Polish climber Tadeusz Platowski, blown off the face after an extraordinary climb. Bodies vanished into the void. Ropes snapped under shifting ice. Radios went silent. No rescue ever came. The mountain seemed alive, swallowing teams one by one. Survivors would later say it felt cursed, because when the weather closes in on the spur, even elite climbers find themselves outmatched and gasping for air. Even the best are prone to failing here. Let's take a look. On most peaks, elite climbers dominate the ascent, but K2 has its own rules. Up here, their mastery means nothing when exhaustion sets in. When oxygen runs low, coordination falters, and judgment fades into hallucination. Seasoned mountaineers make fatal errors, unclipping for speed, misjudged weather, trusting old fixed lines. On top of that, you have a deadly cocktail of unpredictable storms and miscommunication between international teams. Sudden whiteouts can erase the trail and sever your only chance of descent. There's little to no Sherpa support, and rescue is virtually impossible above Camp 4. The mental strain alone breaks even hardened climbers. Most freeze in fear as creaking ice groans beneath them. On K2, skill can help you survive, but no amount of experience alone guarantees that survival. Once you start to ascend, your fate is held by the mountain. As dangerous as that is, nothing compares to what happened in K2's deadliest season. For decades, K2 mocked every winter attempt with blizzards, bone-cracking cold, and winds that could peel skin from flesh. And then came 2021. A small Nepalese team dared the impossible. Temperatures plunged below -60 degrees Celsius. Visibility dropped to near zero. Each breath hurt their lungs. There were no cheering base camps, no rescue fallback, just utter isolation above the clouds. They moved through darkness, ice-shrouded ropes slicing through gloves. An hour to the summit felt like years. One misstep meant death. And yet, against every brutal odd, they made history. But what the headlines didn't show were the frostbitten hands, the torn mental state, and the silence of the ones who never made it back. That winter proved K2 could be beaten, but only by those willing to walk with death itself. A walk not everybody returns from. But the next wave of climbers may face worse horrors. K2 is no longer the domain of the few. It's becoming a magnet for record chasers, influencers, and commercial expeditions. With better gear and online fame fueling ambition, even the savage mountain is starting to see traffic jams like Everest. But this isn't a place that forgives delays. Climate change is melting ancient glaciers, loosening seracs, and turning reliable routes into death traps. The bottleneck? More unstable than ever. Avalanches strike without warning. The weather windows are shorter, crueler, and far less predictable. And with inexperienced climbers flooding in, teams risk being slowed, tangled, or stranded by chaos they can't control. The danger's no longer just from nature alone, it's from human saturation. K2's future is overcrowded, unpredictable, and primed for another mass casualty disaster. And when it happens, nobody will see it coming. K2 has taken the lives of decorated alpinists, seasoned Sherpas, and rising stars alike. You can train for years, master every technique, study every map, and still vanish in a whiteout or fall with the rope that snaps like thread. K2 doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about your fame or your dreams. The moment you step onto its flanks, you play by its rules, and the price of failure is absolute. This isn't a mountain you conquer. It's a mountain that permits you to leave, if it feels like it. And more often than not, it doesn't. Next up, we're covering what surviving an avalanche is like. Brutal storms, overcrowding, or a lurking threat yet unknown. What truly fuels the savage toll on K2 slopes? Let us know your opinion in the comments below.